Ectoplasm. Wait. Nope. Just taro excrement. Ugh. Heavens, Auntie, you scared the living daylights out of me. Shouldn't sneak up on a man like that. Good way to earn a bullet betwixt the eyes. You know, you might be right. I'm reliably certain I do not want to find out. Guess I should apologize for all that hullabaloo before. Just mistook you for another unfleshly manifestation. Look, I know how it sounds, like I'm a few crabbles short of a hurt, but just hear me out. It all started the other night. Saw a personage leaving the greenhouse, late. Figured it for Emily, but when I asked her about it, she didn't know what I was talking about. Happened again the next night. Gave chase that time, but lost him hereabouts. I turned a corner and they'd up and vanished. I've knocked on doors, peeped a few windows, respectfully, mind you. And I ain't spied anything more exciting than a chair. But then, a being of pure information probably wouldn't linger on this plane any longer than necessary. Too tiresome, be my guess. Well, maybe. I still don't know all the particulars, yet. But it's one theory. Yeah, we are all molecular machines and whatnot. I'm familiar with the 6 pillars of scientism. Guess I figured that was more open to interpretation than not. I certainly won't say no to having a fresh set of lamps on the scene. Just be careful. Hate to see you disappeared like that foodstuffs.
suppose it was only a matter of time until we were discovered. Though what an odd thing to die for. Apples. Is that not why you've come? Because you discovered our recent larceny at the greenhouse? The greenhouse's stolen bounty offered a healthy alternative to gorging ourselves on that vending machine poison. Alas, I was spotted on 1 or 2 forays. Starving? Hardly. We have greater stores of strength than you suppose. This hunger is a momentary distraction, nothing more. Do not speak of biology to me, interloper. We are not the same. I am built in accordance with the paradigm, and you are insubstantial, weakened under the burden of choice. If you are conniving for some concession of weakness, you will be a long time waiting.
Thought I saw you disappear in here. Oh, seems I've stumbled into quite the shindig. You lot been hiding out in here all this time? Touch cramped, ain't it? You've got me there. Nothing enigmatical about a trio of Protectorate stowaways.
The more I listen to you invaders blathering, the more convinced I become of the need to rid our fair island of your wretched stupidity by any means necessary.
Not very copacetic, are you folks?
If this exchange is not to your liking, I can accommodate you with a bullet instead. Spare me your insults. They mean less than nothing coming from the mouth of a corporate pet. I would sever my own hands at the wrist rather than sign a corporate contract. A generous offer, but we prefer to die in the service of the sovereign. This was always going to end in blood.
What the?
Heading to the fort.
Guess I had this mystery all wrong. Small part of me was hoping... Nah, never mind. It's downright foolish. I lost a friend in the invasion. A good friend. Thought maybe all this was her trying to send me a message of some kind. Like I said, foolish. I appreciate that. Never really talked about the direction of my thoughts on this topic with no one before. Wow, it's like I'm lighter. Thank you for everything. Truly.
Welcome, welcome. See anything you like? Well, if it isn't a new face in Fairfield. What I meant to say is that we now have the new improved Purple Berry Crunch. Now with 10% more flavor. Or was it crunch? Oh, no? Wait, is it customary to hand out prizes to newcomers? Apologies for the blunder. Anyway, let's try this again. Welcome to More Perfect Goods, a proud Auntie's Choice franchise. How can I improve your day? Gladly. No better choice than Auntie's Choice. Welcome, welcome. See anything you like?
Whether it's an orifice or a face, Auntie's Choice makes us a genie more interesting.
My cover story has worked. I am safely ensconced at the Vox station, assigned to the lowly Information Input and Retrieval Department. Seems a colony so certain of its absolute control over its subjects can be less than rigorous when it comes to security. I was able to easily widen out a space behind the walls of the main control room to establish my safe room, giving me unfettered access to the communication transfer conduits. I have hacked into their system downstream from the security protocols, so I am able to infiltrate their entire system with them being none the wiser. While I have little doubt as to the success of our mission, trepidation still gnaws at me, though I cannot say why. Perhaps it is simply the normal mission commencement jitters. I thought my duties complete. Information gathered, reports filed, preparations made. I'd even created a fictitious identity and work transfer to Horizon Point Station well ahead of schedule, in order to keep anyone from tracking my movements upon commencing the mission. All that was left was the waiting. Or so I thought. Then, troubling information came to light. I've seen the numbers. I've seen the equations. While I don't understand all of it, I understand enough to know it is the truth. And I am the only one in a position to act upon it, though it means the betrayal of my team and the duty I swore to uphold. But can I? I did it. They are all dead. And I am still alive. I had not expected this. I had prepared no alibi, and so felt assured my ruse would be discovered and I'd not have to carry this burden. But the complete gullibility of the Protectorate subjects cannot be underestimated, it seems. My threadbare excuse of my grievous wounds as pitchball injuries was accepted without question. I can only keep telling myself it had to be done. Something which becomes harder by the day as the rift anomaly grows in the sky. But it was all part of the plan. Wasn't it?
Schultz went where? Sakes alive. Schultz! Anyone got lamps on Schultz? Anyone? Void be damned. Sallying into the wire like that with nary a wish in her pocket? What was she thinking? Did I not make clear our orders to hold the line here regardless of provocation? Should my instructions have been more robust? Perhaps assisted by pictures?
I'm afraid there's more bad news, Commander. She also took Scrabbles, sir.
Would that he'd done her more good. Seems Calamity has claimed 2 good soldiers today. You there. I don't normally sanction nameless passers-by giving ear to my private discourse. That right. Earth Directorate. Not many would claim such affiliation these days. None from Arcadia have the knowledge to lie about it. What's your business at the Vox? Sounds serious. Were it in my power to offer aid, you'd have it. Alas. Whatever your purpose, I feel a contractual obligation to warn you against setting a heel past this base. If you go any further, you go alone and at your own peril. No Anti's forces are permitted beyond the forward position upon pain of disemployment and possible litigation. Our orders are to sit and mind the store for as long as need be. First Officer Schultz's decision to enter the minefield was not sanctioned, approved, or encouraged. Frankly, I have no idea why she defied orders. Schultz was a good soldier, admirable sense of duty, less than optimal eyesight. Her loss will be felt in this unit. If only she had recognized the merits of our post. By steadfastly holding the line here, we forestall any retribution the Protectorate would seek to inflict upon Fairfield. And we will continue said watch until orders change. I'd thank you to affix some ballast to that name when you speak it. Scrabbles has been integral to this unit's success for years. Outsiders may see him as a toy, but we've bled alongside that stuffed sprat. He's damn near family. Schultz obviously knew the risks and hoped he'd protect her through the minefield. Alas, even Scrabble's power has limits. Still would help morale to get him back, though. I'll pardon your skepticism given your lack of acquaintance, and say only this. Ask not what Scrabbles achieves for us, but what we can achieve with him. I half believed you meant that offer. Unless you weren't being playful. I confess, the challenge of holding the forward position does not satisfy, as might a straight-on tussle. But I would prefer to avoid staining my reputation by participating in such a needless blunder. Carr was, shall we say, non-ambiguous with her orders. Such an argument isn't as compelling as you believe. The soldier who does not consider defeat all but guarantees it. Far be it from me to speak poorly of a superior, but I have pondered over her choices as of late. She's been sullen about sharing her strategy, too. Still, however brightly my star burns, I remain in her orbit. She is my superior officer. I defied her once, and I received the verbal tanning of a lifetime for it. I will take action when action is appropriate, and I'd suggest you modulate your tone more appropriately the next time we speak.
You there. Keep your hand. Stranger, consider yourself lucky that I've been ordered to not open fire unless fired upon. I will not suffer an outsider to trespass and trample further through our lands. Turn back from this bridge now, lest my ever-depleting prudence be spent. If you are not a loyal Protectorate subject, you will not cross this bridge. Be grateful I do not judge with such haste as my superior to the north, Brigadier Montelli. He's been fervent of late, looking for any Protectorate subjects who have displayed disloyalty in his estimation. Any associations with wrongdoers results in swift execution. That has, unfortunately, put many folk in his sights, myself included. And so we wait for the proverbial axe to fall. Betraying the Protectorate, using the Sovereign's name in vain, overindulging in food and drink, loafing, boasting, belching, and of course, colluding with wrongdoers. You dare to propose an arrangement? I may have need of your help, stranger, if you are ready to seize an opportunity to show fealty to the Protectorate. I know of 2 traitors who yet remain on this island. Bring them to me, and I'll dispose of them before the Brigadier questions my loyalty and deems me guilty by association. In return, I shall grant you clearance to cross the bridge. Fair exchange, wouldn't you say? Trial. When their crimes are as clear as the Sovereign's blue skies? We may not ascribe to your laws, but do not assume that I think lightly of taking a life. These traitors have committed grave offenses, ones that would be punished without question. It's not at all the same as the indiscretions the Brigadier damns his people for. There's a wide gulf between justice and madness, and many interpretations of the law land on the right side. You see the difference, do you not? No, I am ridding us of 2 dangerous traitors who will inevitably take good subjects down with them. Am I one of those good subjects? Of course. To my point, our forces on the island are dwindling rapidly. Not just from the fighting, but from treachery. Or from seeing treachery where there is none. I am seeking to preserve our forces by punishing the true wrongdoers. After all, it is rather impossible to uphold one's sovereign-given duties if one is deceased. Now, will you accept my offer, or will you finally get out of my sight? I commend you for your eager interest. I think 2 traitors in particular. First is Ida Rutledge, a worker at Spire Grove. I once had utmost respect for her. We were, oh, damn it all, we were friends. When the Grove went silent during the invasion, I assumed she'd fought to the death as any subject would. But reportedly, she's not only failed to die, but is also teaching the enemy soldiers how to use the equipment. conspiring against us. Such treachery is unconscionable. Saving oneself at the expense of one's loyalties and one's duty to defend their homeland is not survival, it is damnation. Never would I have imagined she would spit in the face of all our values. What I do is for the greater glory of Arcadia, not for my own selfish interests. Know this, I am an instrument of the Protectorate, and so shall you be. With that matter sorted, I simply require the second traitor in hand. Charlton Weintraut of Westport. It should not escape your notice that we share the same surname. He too failed to die defending his home during the invasion alongside the other residents of Westport. They'll be seen to in time. But Charlton, well, I must deal with him personally. Oh, how I anticipate wiping that smug expression off his face. Are these orders clear? An outrageous notion. Fairfield was never my jurisdiction, and its stewards died valiantly in its defense. They did not submit to the enemy. And look here, the bridge stands. I am through justifying myself. Bring me the traitors we discussed if you wish to cross the bridge. But beware if you step out of line. Other subjects may not be so generous with their deal-making as I. Farewell.
But I reckon that was a handful of hours ago.
Stay out of the minefield if you value your limbs. I'll be spaced. Scrabbles! And hardly the worse for wear! You've no grasp of what his return means to this unit. Scrabbles was originally a gift from my daughter. He fought with us during the Consolidation War, and has seen this squad through every hard deployment since leaving Tau Ceti. He's also packed with some of the finest grade stimulants this side of legal. Here, for your trouble. Livener like that comes in handy when you're in a pinch. While we appreciate you returning Scrabbles, you'll not provoke me into a course of unwise action if that's your aim. I will take action when action is appropriate, and I'd suggest you modulate your tone more appropriately the next time we speak.
We're closed. Did you not hear me? This place is closed. No learning today about how everything happens according to the obscure calculus of an indecipherable plan. Why are you asking? Who are you? An old acquaintance. How old? Do you know what happened to her that caused her such anguish it drove her to her present course of action? By the architect, I had no idea. I wish I could say it was unbelievable. I was afraid she was becoming a danger to herself and to others. But this is horrifying. I haven't seen her since before the corporatists invaded the island. I'm afraid she's going to do something terrible, but I just don't know what. Maybe none of this would have happened had I not introduced her to Victor. How did... You saw her terminal, didn't you? Victor's an Order archivist. We were all friends for a time. But then, shortly before the schism, they started talking to some others inside the Order. That's when things became tense. I started to become uneasy, scared, really. She kept getting angrier with the Order the more she worked with Victor and her other contacts. On top of everything else, it became just too much for me. Among other things. For some reason, she was obsessed with the cliffhanger ending of Chapter 6. It was the one where capitalist fanatics brought complete destruction upon Arcadia. But you know how it works. It was somehow miraculously saved at the beginning of the next chapter. Didn't matter to DeVries, though. She just kept going over it and over it. Would have talked to a Crabble about it if there was no one else to listen. That, and the invasion itself, set her mind to dark things. I begged her not to go down that road again. She was so agitated when I first met her. Must have been 7, going on 8 years ago now. She never slept, didn't talk to anyone if she could avoid it. After we became friends, she began to change. Still bothered her from time to time, but I thought it mostly behind her. I couldn't watch her go back to how she'd been. Or worse. No. But it had to be someone's fault, right? The Protectorate couldn't possibly have failed to safeguard the colony. And they had to answer the accusations the Order leveled at them. We became friends when she... well, she saved me. I'd said something without thinking. Must have been distracted. We all know to watch every last word we say. For some reason, she interceded on my behalf with an arbiter. And she convinced him he didn't hear what he actually did. No one does that. Void, I didn't think anyone could. We all were, originally, before the schism. But she never gave it up, even when it became illegal to even mention their name. Which was surprising with how angry she seemed to be getting with them, even as she was deep into scheming with Victor and the others. She even continued to sign her messages, "See you in the equation." It's all so confusing. What do you mean? It was where she worked, one of the Protectorate's communications hubs. She didn't speak of it much, at least to me. She may have spoken to Victor about it. It's difficult to explain. She spoke about things in unfamiliar ways. I felt her words to be freeing, at first. But slowly, I began to feel unmoored, doubting everything I ever knew. She said learning the truth of things was worth it. But now I question whether her truth was just more of her penchant to sow chaos, no matter who may be caught in her schemes. Some days I wish I'd never listened to her at all. Others, I can't help but miss her. Even with everything. I did try to, once, after the corporatists invaded Paradise Island and took over Fairfield. They seemed to let anyone in there. Some boisterous fellow even tried to recruit me. No. Nearest I could surmise, she'd left just prior to the fall of Fairfield. I'm ashamed to admit, I did break into her safe. She used the same code for everything, 15-778. She said it had some meaning from her previous life. I'd hoped she'd left something for me, but the safe was empty. I know I've no right to ask this of you, but when you find her, please remind her of who she used to be. She's unwell, but I know there's still hope for her. That's all I can ask. Welcome back to my chapel of fear and futility.